Well, greetings, Snow Disciples, and welcome to the Snow Church video for Wednesday, January 25th. Here we are all the way at the 25th of January. Can you believe that? Hard for me to believe. Anyway, our live snow shot of the day. It's not a video, it's a still, but it was taken about 2 minutes ago once I downloaded it. And I don't know the exact location, but I do know that it is about halfway between Milwaukee and Madison. And yes, there is some snow falling there. And yes, it is starting to whiten the ground a little bit. Who knows? Maybe this is even a snowmobile trail. I don't know. But that's the snow shot of the day. A lot of the snows are falling in the southern Midwest and don't really have any cams down there. And the west is quiet, the east is quiet. Tried to bring one up from Duluth, but what the heck? Here's for you folks in southeast Wisconsin. Looks very familiar territory for southeast Wisconsin. I spent a lot of my time down there. All right, I digress. Here's 24-hour snowfall ending this morning, and you can see where the heaviest snows fell in eastern Oklahoma, northeast or northwest Arkansas, southern Missouri, but there were also snows that extended all the way up through Illinois into southern Wisconsin, and we also had some snows across northern Minnesota, areas of the UP. I know that our location here in beautiful downtown Jacobsville picked up about an inch or so. Currently, these are where the snows are falling. Oh, let's do that. Probably some severe weather along this line here of thunderstorms, but this is all snow up here, folks. And some bumps or some sharp definition. So there could be some pretty decent bursts of snow falling in those areas. Most of it otherwise light to moderate snows that are coming down. And as expected, we're seeing these snow showers extend all the way up into the UP. It's not snowing here in the Keweenaw just yet, but we're supposed to get a little bit of snow during the day today, continuing to freshen things up. Now let's jump to the models, shall we? We shall. The European model, main differences going forward, we have to get to next week, and that, is it a Wednesday storm? I forget. We have a Saturday storm, and then, no, I think it's a Monday storm. The Monday storm, the GFS, is the European model is way stronger. Beautiful looking snowfall outlay with that system. The GFS doesn't really indicate much to occur, but let's look at that European model. That's what we got going on right here. This is through, well, this is actually as of almost about now, and then take us through tomorrow morning. And I guess you can see additional snowfall to fall in these areas and some more up into the north. Not a lot, unless you're kind of in the Duluth area. And then this takes us into when that clipper system starts to arrive by Friday morning. What happens is the majority of the moisture and energy with the clipper system stays north of the lower 48, north of Lake Superior. So we'll see an area of snow grow here, but not much on the south side of the clipper, which it's a tiny bit unusual, but not highly unusual. See how we go right through there, and most of the snows have fallen there. Poor old northern Wisconsin not getting too much, and the lake effect's just getting going. And then we have this streak here, and this is for the Saturday snow. What we're looking at is about mid-morning on Saturday. Watch this streak go head towards, almost right towards Chicago, and build across southern Wisconsin, southern lower Michigan. Okay, now we're sitting at about midnight on Monday, and the lake effect snows are starting to pile up. Still is not looking like, at least via the models, that in any one 24-hour period, the lake effect snows are going to be too heavy. And that could very well be due to the fact that the air is going to be so cold up here during the lake effect event that causes the flakes to be very small, doesn't allow them to be piling up as rapidly as when you get those nice big fluffy lake effect snows. But nonetheless, fresh snow is pretty much consistently, at least across the Keweenaw, from about midday Friday or Friday afternoon right on through February 1st. So that's what, about a 5 or 6 day time period where it may not ever stop snowing. So it will pile up. It's just going to be a gradual pile up, and it may not be to the 2-3 foot depths, but at least a foot and a half. Now let's watch that other storm start to come together. And actually, it is for Wednesday. Let's see. Here it is, right here. Boom. Look at that one. Boom. See how those snowfall totals, again, around the Chicago area, southern Wisconsin, does fill in across northern Wisconsin, all of lower Michigan. So by the time we get to about the 3rd or 4th of February, if this model comes true, by golly, we could have snow on the ground from at least central or maybe even southern Illinois all the way up to the border, and a decent snow to play in from like, say, northern Illinois all the way on up to the Canadian border. So this resurgence of winter is going to mean business and will rejuvenate snow play all across the Midwest. All right, now let's take a look at a more conservative snowfall outlook. This is the GFS, but we've got the current system, and here is, back up a little bit. Here's tomorrow morning's snowfall up to tomorrow morning's, and then we'll watch that Clipper system come in, and then we'll watch this Saturday system come in. And right now, if I were to jump back and forth between the models, this is a pretty similar snowfall outlay. So the models are in good agreement up through about the weekend, but then it's as we get into Wednesday, things get a little bit not so organized, or in agreement, I should say, because here we are by, say, Thursday morning of next week, and all that snow that was sitting around in here, based on that idea, is not in this one. So you can see the differences there, but the lake effect, and you can see the signature. It's primarily I'll wait for this to go away maybe, but primarily a west-southwest signature. You can see how the eastern shores of Lake Superior there, from the Sioux all the way up, Marathon, Wawa, I forget what goes either, Marathon, Montreal River, Wawa, and then Marathon all the way up there. You can see it's going to get some pretty decent snows. So for those of you that like to venture across the border into Ontario and snowmobile the nice terrain and deep snows that they get at the east end of Lake Superior, you'll be in business. This one area that I've always wanted to check out and may very well check out one of these days. I don't know why that thing still's there, but the GFS goes out further than the European. So this is about 240 hours is as far as the European goes, and that's as far, this is where we're at right now with the GFS. And it is a little bit more aggressive with the lake effect snows. So, it's It's one of those things where I don't want to get too caught up in the amounts or the totals or really even the placement with the lake effect snow, starting up this Friday, continuing into next week, only to say that it will be happening for somebody. And then as we go all the way out to day 16, you can see winter still. There's a storm that's going to come in here right around maybe the 6th or 7th of February and bring heavy snows, at least according to the GFS. So we're still looking at a nice wintry pattern, even as we get into February, like say to almost the middle half of February. So we had to grin and bear it for a good chunk of January. It just was depressing. But there's reasons to smile, snow fans, because it's here. Winter is here, and it looks like it's here to stay for at least about 2, maybe 3 weeks. And then that's going to get us to about the middle of February, and we'll take it from there. Looking at the jet stream level, I've jumped back to the European for this, just because for some reason when I display the European jet stream map, it looks a little cleaner than the GFSs. So same things to be looking for. United States is right here, Canada just above us, polar vortex sitting right over northern Canada. We've got some ridging coming in the western Pacific towards Alaska, and then the Siberian low displaced to the east, not quite over the Kamchatka Peninsula, but over far eastern sections of Russia or Siberia. I did look on the map and I couldn't find any specific name. This really isn't even a peninsula. It's north of North Korea, for whatever that's worth. But I guess I really wasn't dumb and not knowing that peninsula name, because there doesn't appear to be one. So watch whatever you want. I'll run this through a couple of different times and maybe point it out. But yeah, let's look at the polar vortex in this case. And it just parks itself there all through the period. Nice and dandy. Then we'll back it up again. Watch this ridging in the western Pacific, and it pretty much parks itself there. Starts to kind of try to break it down towards the end, but not a whole lot. And then this low east, this Siberian low, really likes to stay east. In fact, at times it does center itself across the Kamchatka. This is not quite centered, but it's including it. I'd say it's still elongated, but it's far east. You know, when we were having all the problems, that low was all the way over here. So, you know, basically the upper air patterns justify the fact that winter will be hanging on for at least another 2 weeks or so across our area, which is good news. And then the last map I have to show for you is the 850 millibar temperatures. North America, so we're looking at the US-Canadian border to be right about here. Keweenaw is right here. So we just kind of focus in on that. And then this is that polar vortex. This is the really, really cold stuff. And this is more like highs in the 20s type cold. And then this is highs in the 30s type cold. The blue is. The pink is high in the 20s. And then you get into the whites and it's highs in the single digits above and below zero. So let's run it through. Here we go. Here's the cold enough air for lake effect. Actually on Thursday, but we have that clipper system coming and the winds are going to be out of the south ahead of it. So that's why there's no lake effect snow on Thursday. In fact, that's why Thursday's fairly quiet across a good portion of the Midwest. But then the winds change as that clipper system comes through. Here it is right here. And then just cold, cold, cold. It will be cold. I've been talking about the lake effect snow and not talking about the cold, but we're going to be looking at probably single digit highs in the UP and maybe even northern Wisconsin for later in the weekend and a good chunk of next week, and perhaps even colder. Some areas of Minnesota may struggle to get above zero for daytime highs. But look at how that cold air just stays bottled up in the northern Midwest and doesn't come crashing down into the southern Midwest. So, like I was saying yesterday, good news for heating bills in big cities like Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis. You're going to get into the cold, so I can't really say that for you. But Milwaukee, maybe even Madison, not getting too out of hand. Des Moines, not getting too out of hand. And then by the time you get down towards like Indy and Columbus, Ohio, you know, they'll be close to the freezing mark even. So there it goes. And there is some warming here. So we'll have to see if this is just sort of a lobe that gets absorbed and we get some more cold air to swing in. I think that's probably going to be the case. In fact, I think this might even, this push of warmer air may even just be a hiccup in the models. But I think that covers it for today. It's all pretty much good news. I know I couldn't really find a whole lot of bad news in the forecast. So smiles, everyone, smiles. Welcome to Fantasy Island. No, welcome to winter finally again. Have a great one, everybody. I will talk to you again tomorrow. And please keep those sticks on the ice.